The town leans towards the centre, and the centre reaches for the sea. The sea, it's a magical place where time moves in two directions. There's something about the ebb and the flow down by stately that feels so peaceful. Worlds away from newspapers and TV and busy motorways. The crumbling pier in the distance is the only sign of humanity leaving its mark. As long as you don't look at the row of houses behind you, you can lose all track of time. The outside world doesn't belong there. It's so natural, like a blank canvas, pure of any commercial sin. It's like walking in on a secret, finding something too good to be found, too beautiful to be true. The sand is ingrained into my DNA. I grew up splashing in the rock pools, combing through the debris for my shell collection. I spent summer holidays building sandcastles with my dad. It's easy to take those perfect memories in such a perfect place for granted. The waves pull back and then they stumble forward again and again. Even on the cold days when the mist creeps in from the east and the air is dank and wet, the sea is still a picture. Depths of greys and blues fringed with bubbling froth, liquid crystal and harmonised rolls creeping on the sand. It's a place I never want to leave because the sun will always rise here. On the far side is Seaton. The couples saunter hand in hand, fitness fanatics huff and puff their way along the promenade and dog walkers stroll leisurely, watching their mutts chasing off the outpouring tide running hell for leather from one end to the other. It's vulgar with its withering palm trees victim to the climate. On the other side of the road, the arcades scream for attention with its brash lights and the loud blue adorning the entryway. The whole street is a mismatched flashback of taste, from Gladys's vintage tea room to the plethora of contemporary chippies. The buildings together are a dirty wash pile, weather-beaten and tired. Tucked behind are a suburb with authentically classic houses, layered over the streets of modern rebuilds, all reaching for the sea. The salt air, the cool sand damp in my palms, the northern wind indigenous to our coast, it's utterly intoxicating. The times I have sat by the shoreline and poured my heart out in tears, or basked under the sun by the flat rocks to the wall. It's dirty and used and ugly and still manages to be romantic in so many unfathomable ways. Drifting further into the mainland, you'll notice the marina is ever developing. Blink and you'll miss it. You'll miss the strip by the boats lulling on crap-filled waters, knocking heads with jellyfish residents, and how the swanky bars and restaurants check in like lightning and sign out like thunder. A town like ours isn't designed for passers-by staying the night. Like a Sunday morning, progress in business is a hungover and tired shell of suburban vanity. Sandwiched neatly in the middle of it all is the Headland. The houses are delicate and beautiful and ornate, the same way the high walls have been lovingly repaired, a mixture of beige tones and shades of where ages of brick have been stained by the sun. Take a walk and you'll see. You'll see the buildings that survived both wars and you'll see the ones that didn't. It starts by the lighthouse on the jut of the land, patched up with style, like a princess plaster to a gunshot wound. The street corner falls off into the alley where the house once stood. Out of the whole coastal line, it's this beach that has the most historical feel about it. Unlike the pagan feel of Steatley or the modern skit of Seaton, the Headland almost has a deeply sacred atmosphere. All of it is a place I never want to leave because the sun will always rise here, all on the same coastline. The sun still rose the morning after we hung the French monkey in the 1700s. It rose when the Trincomalee returned home to the marina. It rose when the first bomb of 1914 hit the Headland. It rose again through the national darkness of the miners' strikes. It rose when the nurses were laid off and the steelworks closed, and our ancestors struggled on. The good, the bad, and the ugly is all equally home. Our minuscule corner of the world claims no great hold on fame or royalty because we were raised on family and community. There are no strangers, only new friends. We lend a cup of sugar and have an egg or two to spare. That's the one thing the old and the young have to share. There are those that venture out into the unknown, and there are those that never leave. The students fly off to nearby city life, where the pace is quicker and the land doesn't meet the sea. They all come back at some point to visit, so pop round sometime. I'll stick the kettle on.